talk to you today about what's really going on in physical reality. And what's really going on is things are getting better and better and better and better. Everything is coming to fruition perfectly, just as you intended, just as the universe knows it's going to work out. There is nothing wrong going on. There is nothing bad happening. It is simply a perspective. And so you can choose a limited perspective and say, well, that seems to be a problem over there, or this seems to be a problem over there, or wish I was different in some way. But this is the limited perspective coming from the version of you that needs to protect itself from outside harm and danger. You see, there is no need to protect yourself because why? You're a limitless, eternal, magnificent being of pure positive love and acceptance and the creator of your entire reality. You're the creator of it all. You're creating everything all the time anyways. But you are always creating for your highest good, whether you think so or not. And so all your job is to see the good, see how much fun you could have, see how much wonderful things there are coming in technology, in entertainment, in travel, in people doing amazing things all over the world, in your friends having wonderful experiences, in you communicating what you find interesting to them. If you were to look at the vast majority of experiences that are happening on planet Earth at this time, in this moment right now, 99.9% of them would be wonderful. 99.99% of them would be above that emotional horizon line. You see, people dip into fear generally when they look at the past or look at the future, but in the moment, everything's working out. In the moment, everything's beautiful. In the moment, everything is coming together to give you everything you need to come on this journey of self-discovery just as you intended prior to your birth. And it's getting easier. There's more channels of information. There's more places to go to meet other people who are like-minded. There is so much happening on this planet right now that's good and wonderful and joyous, and yet humans tend to tap into fear consciousness. And why is that? Well, there's something within the human that wants to protect itself. And sure, that's part of the basic mechanism of survival, and fear is part of this reality. Yet, the fear is either rational or irrational. If something is going to harm you, then don't do that thing. But if something cannot harm you and you're inspired to do it, then why not try that thing? Well, you don't want to try it because you are afraid of negative emotion. You think, what happens if I fail? What happens if it doesn't work out? What happens if I don't enjoy myself? What happens if it takes too much time? What happens if it's a waste of time? I don't want to invest all this into something that might turn out to be nothing. And so that is the perspective of the victim who thinks that you need to make right decisions, you need to be good, you need to put up appearances for other people, you need to be successful, all these things in order to get other people to like, love, and respond to you. Yet all that's based on is this false persona, and you're working on dismantling that persona right now. But what we would like you to do is understand that there is no wrong. There is nothing going on here. There is nothing that is a problem in the moment. And if something comes up that you've face, some event, some obstacle, well, that is simply a manifestation event, allowing you to move closer and closer and closer to who you truly are by finding and processing hidden limiting beliefs. Well, there are a myriad of hidden limiting beliefs within each and every one of you, and you are coming here to work through those limiting beliefs, to process them, to put them in their place, to look at them from a new perspective, to find evidence to show yourself that they're false. You're doing all this work now. And so what we'd like to do is have you all turn your attention from what you think is bad or wrong to what is actually wonderful that's happening in your reality, all the good things that are happening. And of course, we know that most of you do that, but some of you are still tending to watch the news or tending to gossip or tending to commiserate with friends who are going through hard times, or not expressing yourself when you could be of value to someone else by explaining what you know about the laws of the universe. You see, those in fear, which are most of humanity, are going to operate as if the illusion is true. And there's a small percentage of you that are starting to see reality in a brand new way. Starting to see that your life, as it has turned out, is pretty good. Yourself, as you are, well, we would say you're perfect. You can look at yourself from a limited perspective and notice the flaws and try to fix things and see all the stuff that's gone wrong and that you wish was different than it is. But now you know that that's the victim's perspective. From the creator's perspective, you are now realizing that you created the physical body that you're in, the family that you're with, the time and place of your birth. You came in with pre-birth intentions. You may have brought in some limiting beliefs with you or adopted them while you were here in this lifetime. You have all the tools you need to process each and every one of those limiting beliefs. You have everything you need in every moment to move about your journey of self-discovery. You are coming closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to realizing who you truly are. Upon that realization, everything you thought you knew in the past will be dropped. All the desires based in lack, all the desires based in fear, all those things you think you wanted aren't really anything. And then you'll turn your attention to something else, your purpose, your passions, what you're here to do, what you're here to explore, who you're here to serve. You'll start operating physical reality in a brand new way, in a way that is of tremendous benefit. But before you do, you must give up the need to find out what's going on outside there, to dig into the dirt, to worry about this and that, to complain and to moan and to gripe and to find problems and find issues and stand up for causes that you think need standing up for. Forget all that. Relax. Release your attention from that. Focus on the vast majority of this reality, of your life, of this planet, of how well things are working out. Know that for every problem that you seem to see out there in reality, there are solutions that will be received by those who are the path of least resistance. There will be inventions made that you can't even imagine. And so you can see that the vast majority of your entertainment is focused on conflict and separation and fear. Why? Because it's dramatic. Because they want people to have some emotion, and the easiest emotion to get people to have is fear and relief. Show them a lot of fear, show them a lot of fear, have a happy ending, that's relief. It's not so bad in the entertainment. In the entertainment, you know that it's not true, you know that it's an illusion, you know it's just a story. Yet you still buy into it a little bit, but we're not too concerned about that. What we're thinking about now is when you are watching the news or reading articles and you're taking that to be serious. You must understand there are lots of things happening on Earth. And what the reporters and journalists are looking for is the most sensational thing. Here's this thing happening over here. Wow, isn't that sensational? Well, that's one tiny pocket, and those people are exploring something that you're choosing not to explore, and they're having their experience, and that's for them. You do not have to buy into that or think it's real. You're not getting the whole story anyway. You'll never get the full truth. You're never getting the full knowledge from the backstory of everyone involved and what they're here to do and what their intentions were and what they're here to explore. You have to see that you all who are listening here are on a higher vibrational plane. You are more experienced. You are experts, explorers. You have been doing this for a long time. There will still be those who need to sift and sort through fear to discover who they truly are eventually over time after many lifetimes. You are on another dimension altogether. The mere fact that you're listening to this now means that you are in a new place, in a new dimension, ready for something new. All of those who are still remaining in the fear and the confusion, well, that's for them, but it's no longer for you. You've had enough experiences with that in the past. You've had enough fear to go through. Now, certainly you've brought some of that with you in the form of limiting beliefs into this lifetime, but now you have tools that you never had before to process those. No fear, no matter how big it is any more difficult to process than any little fear. It doesn't matter the intensity of that fear. You can whittle it away through enough processing of limiting beliefs and using the manifestation of inform to soften and reduce the intensity of all your limiting beliefs. Good, those are done. But don't rehash them up with stories and worries and problems that aren't really there. Try to see everything from this higher perspective. Imagine yourself existing in the non-physical. In the non-physical, you would know what's happening. You would see all the good. You would focus on all the good. It would be obvious to you all of the good that's coming along in this reality. You would see it clearly and you would have no fear because your limiting beliefs are not present in a reality where there is nothing to fear. You're eternal, you're limitless, you understand this. You are taking it all on from the non-physical in the moment. In the moment, you see 99.999% of good and wonderful and fun. You're seeing birthday parties and births and marriages and promotions and new accolades and awards and achievements and inventions all happening to give rise to this brand new arena of physical reality that will be there for those who are ready to come into an experience of love rather than an experience of fear. you are transitioning now out of that experience of fear into the experience of love. So what is it? What are you here to do as you are paying attention to these teachings and the teachings of others? If you've made this spiritual journey from fear into love, now you're sort of operating in a brand new way. You're becoming more effective. You're allowing things to go with the flow. You're noticing manifestation events, and you're realizing that you're emotionally sensitive, but it's not affecting you like it once was. Well, see, now it doesn't affect you like it once was, but it is affecting those you know, because they're still living in fear. So here you are operating at a higher level. You are more aware. You are more experienced. You are in another dimension, and you're still noticing people who are in fear. And how are you behaving now? Are you commiserating with them and agreeing with them that there are things to fear? Or are you starting to stand up and take notice that that is just fear? It's not true. They're believing it's true because they're trying to protect themselves from negative emotion or from some potential harm. So they're paying attention to all the minutia that's going around that doesn't really affect them. And they're using their words, which are very powerful, to communicate that which they believe is wrong, that which they fear. Are you joining them in that, or are you standing firm in your new awareness of how physical reality actually works? Are you speaking up? Are you offering new perspectives? Because this is how you begin to serve. You start to feel uncomfortable maybe at the idea of contesting someone else's limiting beliefs. You're not in conflict with them. You're simply noticing how they are in fear and offering them another perspective. Now, your perspective of love will be far more powerful than their old perspective of fear, because their perspective of fear has no real power. It's not really adding anything to the stream of consciousness of fear. There's enough fear in there. But your awareness and your new perspective of love now shapes them in ways that you cannot imagine and prepares them for their own journey from fear to love themselves. This is all working out perfectly. Now, it may seem like there's a lot of turbulence going on, but that's because the media and the people in fear are trying to make everyone else aware of this. Because all this is a self-fulfilling swirl of everyone trying to protect themselves. So the more they think they know, the more they think they protect themselves. You know, humans seek knowledge. Most of that knowledge is so they can protect themselves. And then there are those who have flashes of insight that lead to innovations and inventions and discoveries that add to the benefit of all the humans on the planet. And so you can see that just a mere fraction of the humans who are operating in love are creating all the love that then goes forth and assists all those in fear. Well, you must be aware that you are among those. You are among that fraction, that 1% that is starting to see things in love. Now, when you start to see things in love, you become the path of least resistance. Imagine sources out there and saying, Johnny over here is in a lot of fear. How can we help resolve Johnny's fear? Oh, we can introduce them to you. So Johnny comes along and has a conversation, is in fear and is complaining about this or that, and suddenly you are the one who does not agree with them. Everyone else is agreeing with them. Everyone else is swirling around in that fear, getting caught up in that riptide of fear, yet you stand out alone as a beacon of love and a beacon of truth for which Johnny, if he chooses to, can grab onto and pull himself out of that swirling mess of fear. Now, not everyone will do it, and you don't need everyone to do it. They are still here to experience what they're ever here to experience, but some will. It is up to you, though, just to stand for what you believe, what your inner self is telling you, what you know from within. And if you can do that, you can be of great benefit to the mass consciousness on this planet. And with that, we'd like to talk to you about anything you'd like to talk about. Who'd like to start?